Welcome back to Truly Rotten Tomatoes. We're all back live in the room. We got your boy.
Yeah.
We got your boy Morgan here. You gonna lay some funk on the guitar for me, Morgan?
This is my podcast voice.
Yes, that's very good. And we got Mitch is back in the hot seat.
It sounds so much better in real life.
It really does. And
Wow.
we've got Declan in the cold seat.
Wow, this cold seat just got a little warmer.
And of course, yours truly, Hayden.
Truly rotten.
I miss making fart jokes with you boys in real time. The
Yes.
delay on Twitter is just ridiculous.
I didn't want to say this because it was a bit of a secret, but we've been doing these remotely. We've been practicing as socially distant as you can do a podcast. But now we're back in the same room. We're holding hands and our pants are off. And what are we talking about? What movie? Because it's not one on the list that I saw.
Nah, this called for a special episode. We had to get together ASAP. No guests allowed.
It's like a breaking news ticker kind of thing. Like,
That's right.
That's
and
what it was.
we all, one of us realized that this movie had made its way onto streaming platforms, and as soon as it triggered in one of our minds, the rest of us also realized it simultaneously through some kind of telekinesis.
Yeah.
text message.
I had
Sorry, I've been pronouncing that wrong for years.
That's what you thought SMS stood for.
Yeah, telekinesis.
I had like a newspaper just like swizzle in front of my face. And
Paul
just,
Hogan has a new movie.
Crocodile Dundee 4 out now.
Oh, and by movie I mean tomato.
Tomato
Damn, it's
film.
been a while. It has been a
It
while.
has
A
been
little
a little
rusty
bit.
on the old tomato rule.
So what's this movie called, and what's it about,
Mr.
guys?
Excellent. What is it?
The
Mr.
very excellent Mr. Dundee.
Yeah.
What a title.
I watched this movie and halfway through I was like, we got to make an episode. So I didn't make any notes. I didn't make any.
Yeah, me
I didn't make
neither.
any pizza. I didn't do anything for this. I
You didn't
did
even order a
absolutely nothing.
pizza
I
during
didn't
this
even order
one?
a czar for this.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
It means you're serious.
So I believe Morgan hit us up and he was like, hey, we should do an episode on this movie because it's pretty bad. It's Paul Hogan as an 80-year-old man playing himself. My favorite thing about this movie is that he plays a character who's in Hollywood, who's retired, who just really doesn't want to do anything except hang out with his grandchild. But he keeps getting dragged into things, and they're all great things. It's like, Paul, you got to come to England. You want to get, like, the Queen wants to knight you. And he's like, oh,
Do I have to?
And then and it's just a series of these kind of things. You got to come to this red carpet event, and he just really doesn't want to. But you're watching a movie where you assume the same thing happened. You're like, he's been pulled into this movie, and he doesn't want to be there, but he's still doing it. So it's this weird seesaw of like, I know he doesn't want to be doing this. He would much rather be at home playing with his grandchild, and he's like, if it's about my life, that's what's going to happen in the movie as well.
The mere fact that the movie was made, I think, is
So
proof
did you say meerkat?
the meerkat of this movie that was made is just one of the greatest meerkats you'll ever see. You go to Mogo Zoo, it's there. You go to Taiwan, it's there. It gets around. I'm saying
the
this is
same
a
meerkat.
busy meerkat.
You keep talking about
Timon,
meerkats.
he's
Did
in
you watch-
Lion
Did
King.
you watch The Lion King instead of the
Right.
the Crocodile Hunter or whatever it was called?
I
Dundee?
thought it was Crocodile Dundee 4, The Lion King.
No. Can we? Okay, I
No.
wanted to take it back. Just
We are in the bit.
we're swimming in it.
This is our fourth take, Mitch. I'm not restarting.
Come on, guys. I have notes. I have so many notes.
Like studio notes.
studio
You're like,
note- no,
I
well-
think the audience needs a fight scene 10 minutes, every 10 minutes.
Well, I was crying my eyes out. No, I was just thinking about the memory of Crocodile Dundee, and how much joy it brought me. And Crocodile Dundee 2. Have you guys seen?
I
haven't seen either of them.
rewatched
I
both
haven't
of
seen
them.
either of them.
I rewatched both of them about a month ago, and I'd already seen them 3 or 4 times before that because I quite like them. It's like Star Wars. I
Yeah.
need to know more about the universe, but I don't really like this
Do
universe.
they both have Death Stars in them as well?
Oh, Death Star.
Yeah. They have Paul Hogan. That's
There's
the
that
only
famous
Death Star
line.
you
That's
need.
not a Death Star. This is a Death
He's
Star.
a star that's still alive. Paul Hogan's star is shining bright, as this movie shows. Now, there are a few other washed-up, old, famous people in this movie, right? It's not just Hogs.
Are we just going to jump right to John Cleese as his driver?
I was going to start with Chevy Chase, but
Chevy
yeah.
Chase owns in this movie.
Yeah.
But Chevy
John
Chase
Cleese.
always owns, let's be honest.
So they have this
Chevy
weird,
Chase,
this
come
weird joke
on. I
where
love
Chevy
Chevy
Chase
Chase.
keeps
Get the
bragging
Chase.
about having an Oscar, which he doesn't have. Like, that's in the movie
doesn't?
universe.
Okay,
he
alright.
has an Oscar, but he was obviously never nominated for an Oscar. But Paul Hogan rightly says in the movie, Oh, I was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
For best writing of Crocodile Dundee, and that is true.
Yeah.
He was Oscar-nominated writer Paul Hogan.
See, that's another
I didn't
nail
know
in
he
the
wrote
coffin
them.
of... I think this is a very carefully constructed facade of his own, where he's like, nah, I don't care about any of this showbiz stuff, and I don't want to do this movie. But it's all just him rewriting his image of...
Yeah.
What wasn't he embezzling money or like...
He definitely had like a big tax debt.
dodging tax and having
Yeah.
money in like offshore accounts and
He had a
things
big
like
fight with the ATO.
That would have been a great movie if he'd addressed all that
Paul,
stuff.
you got to come back to Australia to fight the tax office.
Could have made it like Hugo Weaving and what's his name from Sea Change in the bank.
David Wenham,
David Wenham. Was Hugo Weaving in that? No, it was the Italian man.
yeah, Vince Colosimo,
No, the other one.
Eric Bana,
No, the
Aaron
other one.
Bandana.
Eric
Not
Banana.
Eric
not
Bandanas.
the Wog
You know,
Boy.
the,
No,
Wog Boy,
not the Wog Boy.
Nick
Try, you're
Giannopoulos.
not Nick
Wayne-
Giannopoulos.
Wayne Hope. Now
No,
we're getting
you've
further
gone
from the
too
source.
far. He's
Con the Fruiterer.
no, yes, but no.
Mark
he's
Mitchell.
not him. No.
That's when you could be fake Italian.
He's got a puffy face. He was in a movie that won lots of accolades. He was recently in a Australian drama called
Lapalia?
Yes,
Anthony
Lapalia.
Lapalia. Didn't
Hey,
you
alright.
work
Antonio
with
have
Lapalia
his phone
Iglesias.
number.
Declan Shrub?
I have
Anthony,
his
let's
phone
get him on the
number.
Get him
phone
on the
now.
fucking
I'm not
body.
going to call Anthony
Hello,
Lapalia.
this is Anthony Lapalia. How may I help you?
Is it you, the Italian guy with the puffy face Hayden was talking about?
Yes, it is me. Admittedly, my face is quite puffy.
Tell us your best Hogan story.
Hoagsy. That takes me back. When I was a young lad, I saw the Crocodile Dundee
We're recording a
movie.
pod. Gotta go.
Okay, see you later.
Palia.
Thank you
See
very
I
Palia.
can
much.
give you
for
some real
any
Lapalia
time.
trivia.
Go on.
He, I think he spent some time in Canberra as part of the AIS Institute of Sport soccer team. I think he was a goalie. He was like a near professional soccer player
Okay.
growing up. Yeah. Big fan. I think he owns part of one of the A-League franchises, or is like, you know, a stakeholder in it. in some
I can
way.
tell you a story about Anthony Lapalia. My wife went to university with a girl who I'm not too sure that she was either a remove your clothes person for money or a sex worker. I don't know if they're the same thing. Whether if you take your clothes off, are you a sex worker? Or you're a
Sex industry
sex-
adjacent
Yeah.
almost.
Were we reading the other day about somebody who makes money by putting their clothes on? Was that something?
Yeah.
Mate, I do that every
yeah.
morning. Except
Yeah.
for on Saturdays and Sundays. Those are tracky dack days.
Well, that's all you do. You just put clothes on.
Technically,
Like, here's your
think
money.
about it,
Anyway.
because if you don't wear clothes to work, you'll get fired. So
Exactly.
the boss is making you wear clothes, technically paying you to.
Okay,
be
and
dressed.
that's the only requirement of both your jobs. You
Yes.
just put clothes on and turn up,
Yes.
and
You
that's
got to
it.
show up.
I'm
It's
a
all about
mannequin.
showing
I'm
up,
a living
clocking in.
mannequin.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my
I gotta
wife
work
went
nude.
to uni with a girl who was a sex worker or something, and she
Online
like
stripper or a real stripper?
an IRL stripper or something like this, and she like
Virtual reality.
ended
but
up
in
like
reality.
ended up I don't know with like famous football stars and stuff, and then eventually ended up with Anthony Lapalia, and now they're married.
Now they're married.
They're married.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
met this person. Do you
Anthony
know?
Lapalia
Yeah, but also
when he was at
his-
AIS.
Let's
that's
call
when
him
he
up.
was-
Yeah.
Let's call him up and find out.
So when I worked with Lapalia very briefly on a television show, I was the runner. I was like the lowest of the low, but I had to pick up people from the airport, take them to the set, take them to the hotel. That was like my job. And I had to pick up Lapalia, who was like the big star of this show. They flew him in from LA because that's where he lived. And the one thing I remember is they told me, firstly, they were like, we're not sure if we're going to give you his phone number because you're like the lowest person on here. You do have to. I have to have everyone's phone number because I'm always like, hey, I'm picking you up. I'm out the front or whatever. But then they were like, oh, he said it's okay for you to have it. So I was picking him up from the airport, and I think someone had told me like he'd recently been divorced from his wife of like 25 years.
right.
So they're like, just I don't know, don't mention that or whatever. And so I picked him up, and he had this young girlfriend. And she was like 21 or whatever, and he's like in his 50s. And the one thing I remember was we got to the Canberra airport. We were going down to go to the car because I picked him up from the
What was
arrivals.
he shooting in Canberra? Sorry, go on with
TV
your
show
story.
called The Code.
Okay.
Yeah. And
right.
he goes, he's with his girlfriend. It's me. I'm just trying to be quiet and act normal. And he just goes to his girlfriend, see, look, I told you. And he's pointing at the sign in the elevator, and it says Schindler's because it's Schindler's Lifts. And he'd like obviously said we have a brand in Australia of lift called Schindler's Lifts,
right.
like probably on the flight, like hours before. But yeah, I found that really funny.
That's an awesome thing, and that makes him the greatest person as a single memory of a person. If you never know anything else about them, that just makes them a genius. But did you guys see the last episode of The Code? And do you know what the code was?
I know what the code was. I did not see the code.
What was the code?
We'll
say it at the same time. Say it at the same time.
It's not just a password that they said in the show.
Tarot cash.
Tarot cash.
Tarot cash.
What?
Yeah.
That was the code.
That was the code.
I don't know what
It
you
was
guys are
so
talking
good.
about.
That was the code at the end of
Yeah, the whole movie, the whole series.
It was all
they're like,
leading
What's
up
the
to-
fucking code?
What's
We
the
gotta-
code?
What's the
That's not
code?
what happens
What's
in
in the
code?
code?
It was tarot cash. The code was
Tarot
tarot
cash.
cash.
It was easy.
Is
It was
tarot
wrong
cash a real
wearing
thing?
tarot cash
Because that's
in
where
the
they all
show.
worked.
Yeah, they were just trying to figure out how to log into the point of sale system. And they
How do
couldn't
we
figure
get
it
in?
out.
We can't sell this shit. And the line's getting longer
Oh
and
my
longer.
God,
that was the whole series.
People talk about like some of the most stressful movies and TV shows ever made. That was it was gripping from the start to the finish.
Top
You're
tier.
like,
Anyone who's
Single
worked in
when-
retail
yeah,
could feel it.
Oh man,
Single
And-
shot,
and
no
haven't we all?
soundtrack, black and white, sepia, upside down. It was crazy, man.
I liked it.
Now, why are we
Reverse
talking
slow
about
motion.
this? Why Anthony LaPaglia is not in the very
not in this
excellent
movie.
Mr. Dundee? He might be the only Australian
Yeah, he
actor who
is.
doesn't show up in this thing.
Oh, man.
You know, okay, well, we can go through our one by one.
Who our favourite Australian
Can I
can't
sort
remember
of
celebrity to show up
outline
was?
the way the movie works first? So
Yes.
as you
So,
rightly...
I think when I wanted to do this episode, I was like ASAP because I knew I was going to forget everything that happened.
And
now
that
I've
has
forgotten
happened.
everything.
Hey, what
Yeah.
about Crocodile ASAP? Crocodile ACP.
Okay. The basic premise of it is it's Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
But
Yeah, you're right.
it's trying to make someone look good.
Yes.
Not
No, yeah.
funny, and that's why
I don't think it sets out to make him look good. I
No,
think
but
he is the
as Morgan
punching-
said, there
it's
is a bit
punching
of
bag.
like a rewriting your own legacy, or even just
Yeah.
like a don't forget who I am
Yeah,
kind
he's-
of thing.
he's just-
it
yeah, he's
starts
just
off with a big
reframing
montage
everything.
of like
Yeah,
Paul
see-
Hogan
yeah.
was
No,
the
I-
biggest
but
guy
That's
in
the
the
utility.
funniest
world.
scene.
That's
That's the funniest
utility.
scene because they're like, Paul Hogan is a household name, and
Yeah.
then they're like, in case you don't know who he is, and they
Yeah,
explain
that's
everything
All
about
these
it.
movies he
Right
was
after
in.
saying he's a
Yeah.
household name.
That's
Like,
that's true. That was jarring, but
And
they
the
did
very
it-
specific title that he has of like the most successful independent Australian movie of all time or something.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
you know he's still holding on to that.
Well, it's
That's
not
his
even the most successful Australian independent movie.
Is it
It's
just
just the
independent?
most successful independent film of all time. And I was like, is it? Wouldn't that
That's
be
pretty
like
impressive.
It's huge.
the
My Big
Blair
Fat
Witch
Geek
Project
Wedding or
or
something?
yeah,
Oh.
or
Maybe Blair Witch is like if you take the percentage of what the budget was and then that made the most back, but let's say it cost like 50 grand to make and you made 200 million, that's like the biggest increase. But if Crocodile Dundee cost 50 million and made 500 million, it still made more
Yeah.
overall, you know? So maybe it's, I don't know, you're getting into what
Crocodile
kind of
Dundee
number.
was pretty massive, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
CD was
yeah.
huge, man. CD was massive.
Yeah, and it sounds like not only that, but yeah, obviously Paul Hogan was in Australian tourism ads and like brought tons of money to Australia because people have ever since then. And clearly Steve Irwin was a Crocodile Dundee character
Right, right.
almost, right? And that was huge as well. So.
I feel
I watched
like
that
you're
movie
on-
recently as well, the Crocodile Hunter movie. That is
Collision Course.
really weird.
fuck
yeah.
It's like a movie intercut with him actually wrestling with like real
Real animals?
animals.
Yeah,
and stuff.
like
It's
documentary
so
style.
The story's really tattered, but
But it's
never
like
watched
a
his stuff
spy
before.
movie, isn't it?
yeah, there's like
it's like we're
American
getting
Spies
attacked. Yeah,
in
yeah,
Alice
yeah.
Springs.
Meg Zubanski's in it.
Magda Zubanski has a
Oh,
farm.
that's good.
It's great.
But I've never seen him do
He's a
what he
talking
does
pig.
before. And in this movie, Steve Irwin is like
He's sick.
He's the
It's
one
good,
of a
right?
kind like entertainer, and but also doing what he's just doing what he's doing. But he's so
R.I.P. to the
entertaining
big
as he
dog.
does it.
Yeah, it was
Did you guys see CD3 in Los Angeles?
Oh,
In Las
that's
Vegas?
the one that I'd never seen.
Yeah.
And I really want to now.
So the movie is just Paul Hogan going around Hollywood, just trying to be a quiet, reserved Paul Hogan. Meanwhile, he's got an agent who, for some reason, can't stop trying to get him jobs, even though he should clearly just fire the agent because he's got no interest
Yeah.
in being famous
That's
anymore.
what
Change
Yeah.
your phone
But it's
number
just
and no one will call you.
the whole movie is essentially like them trying to land him a job or like revitalize his career, which is dead. But every step of the way, something goes wrong, and he gets a horrible name in the public space for
Yeah.
you know
that's
just
right.
he's clumsy, falls into terrible situations. But I will come to his defense and say I don't think that that the introduction where they're like it's just like a montage of news clips talking about who he is and why he's famous. I think that was done for the benefit of anyone who's not over 28 who wouldn't have actually known who he was. You still have to try and approach some kind of an audience.
He's been semi-retired for a good while.
And I enjoyed watching the life summary of him as well.
I thought,
cool, Paul Hogan.
I learned
I
some
genuinely
stuff.
thought it was great. Yeah, I learned a lot there. And I was kind of like, from how jarring the very beginning is, which I
can't remember what happens.
I'm like, what? I did write this down.
It's certainly not a plot-heavy movie. It's basically just like a guy wandering through scene after scene.
Yeah, it's sketches, right?
Yeah.
It's like what can go wrong in this scenario, and which famous person will be brought into it.
Okay.
Yeah, our opening is a bunch of children who were like, "Please, Mr. Dundee," and
there's like kids on a field trip out in California,
Hollywood.
just like out in the desert, I guess.
And
he happens to be walking past. Yeah, with
actor.
that Australian
He's
guy.
with the same guy that is in Crocodile Dundee.
Oh.
He's the barman.
I've
Or
seen
he owns
that
the bar.
guy in like Underbelly and
Yeah,
like
he
a
was in
bunch of
Underbelly.
Australian shows. I think in Rake as well. But yeah, I was like, why is this guy in LA with him?
Right.
But that happens
Roy
probably
something?
5 to 10 times in this.
Yeah, he
tomato.
still hangs out with the guy that was hanging out with him in the Crocodile Dundee universe.
And for some reason, he also hangs out with the guy from Die Hard, Reginald. What's his name?
I just know him as-
Johnson or something like
I don't know what
that.
you're
I
talking
know him
about
as
now.
Carl or the cop from Die Hard.
Yeah, and Die Hard 2, I think.
And Die
Was it
was he
Carl?
Die-
I'm pretty sure he's in both.
Carl from Billy Madison. That's the only Carl character
yeah.
I know outside of Simpsons. I'm latching
I was about
onto
to say, what about Carl from The Simpsons? But he was in that show.
His
The
name's
Simpsons.
Reginald VelJohnson.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was the dad in Family Matters, which is the show Urkel was in.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, yeah, right. And they make that joke about it. They call out. Someone calls out to him on the street.
What is the plot to
that's
this?
right.
Okay, so
actually, Mitch was
Okay.
first scene.
So-
This kicks us off.
So he approaches the snake. He's pressured into approaching a snake.
Yeah.
He realizes that
Some
it's
kids,
dead.
some kids are on a field trip. They see a snake like on the path,
Right.
and the teacher or something is like,
gotta
"Oh,
do
Crocodile
something."
Dundee's here. Can you do something?"
Exactly.
He's an 80-year-old man on a bushwalk, but he's
just in the desert.
So he says, "Oh, it's dead," and they're like, "Oh no, the other one." And then there's a live snake, and then he gets a stick and flicks it at a teacher's face, which then sparks E.T. and all these
that's right.
entertainment
All of a
blogs
sudden-
Right? Yeah.
turning on, being like,
Yeah.
"Whatever
So
happened to
he's trying
Paul
to
Hogan?"
do something to the snake, and I guess it does it climb up his stick and he
Like
flicks
jumps
it back.
it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
It
smacks
jolts.
it.
He accidentally throws it onto a teacher,
right.
and we get the first of what I think was at least 6 news montages.
Right.
And this happens throughout the movie over and over again.
It was the most unrealistic thing to
Paul
see
Hogan
people
at
reporting on Paul
home,
Hogan.
just sitting in his mansion in the dark watching TV, and it's like, Paul Hogan's in the news today. Do you guys remember Crocodile Dundee? He threw a snake at a teacher. And it's like, a cut of like 10 different, every show he's changing the channel to. They're all talking about him.
That's right.
This happens so many times. You're like, dude, you haven't been on TV that much. They're not talking about you on Entertainment Tonight.
The problem is he doesn't get pissed off enough about it. Like, he's
Yes.
pretty old, but he's just like,
Yeah.
they got a
Oh.
story about me on the news again.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
We talked about this
Like,
in the
how do you
Bolero
I
episode.
like the way he doesn't care. Yeah,
and I
it's
thought
the
it was
same
very
thing.
much like Bo Derek in Bolero, where it's like water off a duck's
Yeah, he
back.
doesn't give a shit. It's
But,
awesome.
but I should have some reaction to this, but it's just like, well, this is happening again, but I'm not going to do anything or complain or anything. I'm just going to kind of like accept it, and yeah, it doesn't mean anything to me at all.
It
was-
means the whole movie, like, what are the stakes? What
There
is
are
what is
no
happening in
stakes.
this movie?
No, you're right.
Like, what am I
Well,
meant
the
to care
stakes
about?
are Hogs needs to stay out of trouble so he can get knighted by the Queen because her favourite movie is Crocodile Dundee
But
3.
it turns
That was
out,
funny too.
what?
Her favorite one was the worst
third
one.
one.
That was the worst, yeah.
There are heaps of good
there
jokes
are
in
a
this
few good
movie.
ones.
Yeah.
I found it really funny.
So what you just said though, the stakes there, the stakes don't matter to him because he specifically says, I don't want to go to England. I don't care about a stupid knighthood. Like, he has no interest in that. But the people around him are like, it's the Queen. You got to do it.
Yeah, and then he
could take it or leave it.
He's Skyping with, like, his 6-year-old granddaughter in Australia, and she's like, she's starting at a new school, and she feels uncomfortable at the school, and the only person he seems to care about is this granddaughter of his, and she's like, I told everyone at school that you're getting knighted, and suddenly he has to actually take that seriously.
That's true,
because he doesn't want to let down his granddaughter.
So at that point, he's been openly like, I don't care about this. Right. And then immediately gets a call from his granddaughter who's like, all the kids at school are like, he's not getting knighted. And I said, he is.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
Don't make me a liar, granddad.
Because he literally just told his agent that he didn't want to do it. And she just told that. And then he's like, actually, I want to do it now, love. Yeah, there are good jokes in this. Like the Chevy Chase thing. Chevy Chase was explaining something at lunch where, like, if you knock a plate off the table...
If you've had an Oscar, you can treat waiters like shit, basically.
And then later on in the movie, Paul Hogan's having dinner with Heather from Sea Change. And she's like, I think that's Chevy Chase over there. And you just hear in the background
like
the
someone
sound of the
smashing.
waiter.
That's right. And when the first time when Chevy Chase knocks the plate off and it smashes, he, like, complains to the waiter that it happened, and the waiter, like, says, "Oh, sorry, sir, we're going to start thinking about gluing them to the table." There's some funny bits, but the movie is essentially just a series of escalating reasons for him to get in the news for bad reasons.
Yeah.
A really good one is he meets up with Olivia Newton-John. And she asks him to go.
She's like, John, it's like a Grease karaoke performance or something. Yeah. And she's like, Travolta didn't show up.
It's a charity for children.
I really wanted John Travolta to be
same. Real bad.
They teased him at the beginning, and I was like, is that why we're watching it?
He's been present in so many movies. Why was he not there?
He's the only constant of this podcast that keeps me going.
So he's been enlisted by Olivia Newton-John to go to some charity for children, like disadvantaged children or something like this. And he rocks up there. He's driven, we'll get more into this later, he's driven by, like, an Uber driver who just happens to be John Cleese. Who's
playing himself.
Yeah, who's now an Uber driver.
And what's his explanation for being an Uber driver? He gets
dropped off at the wrong event. So across the road is this small event for children, but he gets dropped off at, like, their parody version of the BET, the Black Entertainment Awards. I think it's the BTC, Black Television something.
Yeah.
And so he's being interviewed on the red carpet, and he's referring to, like, little disadvantaged kids children and stuff. It's like, I just want to go in there and help, you know. You got people up, some of them are going to get up there and sing, and I just want to get in there. They think they're good, and I want to get in there and show them. And, like, these black people, these black presenters who are asking really the questions on the red carpet.
Now, is that before or after he's had a meeting with a studio who are talking about doing a Crocodile Dundee 4? And they're like, we want Will Smith to play your son.
Yes, it's after,
and so
which is also very funny to me.
And so he's trying to say, like, well, I don't think that'll work. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And he keeps being about to say
that's the frustrating thing
because he's black and I'm white, and someone else, another black guy walks into the room. He's like, oh, it's Crocodile Dundee. We love you. What were you about to say? And he's about to say, and it happens like 3 times. All these black people are in there, and he eventually says, like, well, Will Smith's black and I'm white, so it doesn't make sense that he's my son.
No, but he doesn't say that.
He just says, like, cool, he's black.
Because he's black.
And then it just ends. It's a really long scene.
Yeah.
And you know where exactly what's going to happen. And then he says it, and then it just ends.
I liked it.
It's frustrating because anyone in their right mind would not say that. They deal with it more. You know,
and then I think it cuts to him afterwards being like, well, I was just trying to say, like, my wife in the movie was white as well. So it just doesn't make sense that we'd have a black child. And they're like, you blew that meeting. So then he goes to Black Entertainment. He also tells them that the little kids disadvantaged kids need a leg up, and
that's right.
And so these things keep happening. And after everyone, he goes home, watches TV. That's right. You get this wrap up of, like, Paul Hogan's fucked up again.
He just turns on entertainment news as soon as he gets home. Like, I hate this industry. Let's see what's on entertainment news.
Like, to me, that's so funny because the last time he would have seen himself in the news would have probably been his fight with the ATO. And that's also, like, fairly Australian. I doubt it was on American entertainment news.
No, he's gone. He's totally gone from the public eye. Like, that's not happening at all.
He wasn't recently, because there was one other thing.
That movie with Michael Caine?
Well,
No, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton.
Michael Caine.
Wait, that was
the
Strange Bedfellows.
Bedfellows.
That was like
yeah.
2004. That was like 15 years ago.
next
Same
one.
director
Gotta
as
check that
the
out.
very excellent Dundee, though.
Are you serious?
And he also did Charlie and Boots. So he's done 3 movies with Hogs. Oh, and he's also the director of that movie you like that's just about Australians telling a joke called... what's it called?
That's Not My Dog?
That's Not My Dog.
Oh, we have to review that
Yeah.
movie.
So
I hate that movie.
The same guy made all of these movies.
Paul Hogan's in that. He
must
tells a
be
good joke
really
about
good-
sheds.
Oh, is Paul Hogan in it too? So that's 4 times they've worked together.
Okay.
So he did the same director of this movie did Charlie and Boots with Paul Hogan and Shane Jacobson, and of course Shane Jacobson and his brother, the other Jacobson, who looks real similar to him, has a brief role in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like front row in some scene where it might be the Grease scene where
Yes,
he's like
the Grease
yelling
scene.
at him and stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
You guys ever see Kenny, the one with the toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
Is that good?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it was-
made
it was
by
pretty
Shane
good.
Jacobson and
It
his
was good.
brother. I want to say his brother's name's Clay.
Okay.
Clay.
So wait, you're saying the director of this movie
He's
did
a
all
good
those
friend of
things?
Hoag's and has done like 3 other movies with
He's
him.
also
That's
done.
crazy.
I was looking through his Wikipedia. He's done like Hogan specials and stuff. Like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
That makes
Did he do
a lot of sense.
special.
Lightning Jack? Lightning Jack's a movie
yes,
I haven't
I think he
seen.
did.
Lightning Jack was referenced in this movie, and I don't...
Wait, what's
Yeah.
this guy's name?
Paul Murphy?
Paul Murphy?
Paul
Let me
Lightning
have a-
Jack Murphy. I
Let me have
think.
a
Lightning
quick. Let's get
He's been-
Dean Murphy.
Dean Murphy, okay.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say Crocodile Dundee has been in the zeitgeist recently because there was a trailer that dropped with Danny McBride and Chris Hemsworth and Margot Robbie,
Super Bowl commercial.
which turned out to be a Super Bowl commercial.
Australian tourism ad.
And it was, just an Australian
So it was a
tourism ad.
fake trailer for a reboot of Crocodile Dundee with
okay.
Danny McBride playing an American, the son of Paul Hogan's character.
Okay.
And it
far out.
genuinely looked good.
Yes.
Like, the comedic timing was great. It looked like
They spent a lot of money on it. So
Yeah.
it was Australian tourism paid for it, and then they paid for like a mad Super Bowl spot, and they made it look like it was a feature film that had all these Australians. And Paul Hogan is in that ad, I'm pretty sure.
he is in that ad.
In the same way he's in this movie at the end, where he shows up in the Crocodile Dundee outfit in the credits and just has like the knife and says something like that. So I think the success of that ad, which is so funny because again, Paul Hogan was doing Australian tourism ads in like the 80s. That they're like, maybe we can bring him back and still use him. that maybe the success or the popularity of people being like, this is a cool fake trailer, made them be like, we don't want to do another Crocodile Dundee, but maybe there's still some life to
Some
squeeze
juice
out of
left
this
in
guy.
this.
They should have just done
And
like Crocodile
I
Dundee.
think that's what got this movie going.
I just want to talk about forever the fact that John Cleese is in this movie. Just the mere fact that he is in this movie.
It's-
Now
it
you
is
asked
shocking.
you asked earlier, what does he say is the reason
What
he's
he
driving
explains,
an
and
Uber?
it's something like,
He goes,
you know, I don't want people to know that I'm still around.
No,
they
yeah.
think I'm dead.
He said, they're like, well, what, Paul Hogan's like, you were famous like me. We made so much money. Like, why are you driving a car for a living? And he goes like, oh, prostitution, gambling, drinking, a divorce. Oh, I'm kidding.
No, it's like, I'm kidding,
I
I'm
never
kidding about the
gambled.
gambling.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
kidding
so-
about it.
that's
I
good.
never
That's good.
gambled or something
That's
like
good.
that, yeah. I think it is fairly well known that he had an expensive divorce as well, John Cleese.
Yeah.
That's
That's probably why he's doing this. That's exactly why.
So
he's
we
doing
got a
this.
lot of people that show up in this movie.
A lot of people show up.
Some of them get an actual scene. Most of them are playing themselves. But some of them are just news clips where they get like 20 seconds of footage of an Australian
And some of them
celebrity.
feel like they've just been sneakily cut out of context.
Yeah,
Just
the
shoved
Mel
in
Gibson
there.
Mel
one.
Gibson
Mel
is.
Gibson
I was
is
like,
for
he
sure.
was not answering questions relating
so
to this
weird.
movie, was
That
he?
was
No,
the
no.
joke.
But all the other ones
that was
were
it.
filmed
no,
for the
and
movie.
the Travolta thing and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
you know, Travolta's on the news at one point, and they ask a fake question to him and edit his answer. Like, I thought this movie was funny. I thought that like it was. Do you know what it reminded me a lot of? Hello, Ladies.
It was like he
Oh,
was.
yeah.
It was very similar to Hello, Ladies.
Those-
And the comedic timing was on point across. This is the first time we've watched a movie, a comedy movie, that the beats are on point and like the jokes actually land in time.
See,
and
I
stuff.
don't
know
agree
if
with
they
you on
land.
that.
Oh,
I think
come on.
I think the jokes don't land because he's trying to do two things at the same time. He's trying to make a half joke, I might call it a jokehead at best, and then also like preserve his self-image.
I don't think he.
Like he's trying to
He
be
could
like,
have taken the piss
know,
out
like-
of himself more, I reckon. I don't think any of the jokes were at his expense, and I feel like Australian humor, you got to be ripping on yourself. I think
But
I
then
think
again-
he did things that were like, oh, is Hogs getting cancelled for being accidentally racist? But that's more of a comment on like current society and how
guys are
touchy everyone is.
You're speaking like he wrote the movie. He didn't write the movie.
Yeah, but
his
it
best
does
friend,
feel.
Dean
I
Murphy
just
did.
assumed
No,
he
he
did. I
directed
just
it.
assumed he
Yeah,
wrote
but
it.
D. Murphy co-wrote it as well, and I
Did he?
feel like I think you would be.
More self-deprecating.
I think that he had a lot of input about what happened in it.
I agree because this felt like like boomer comics in newspapers. This felt like
Zits.
Yeah. This felt like a very long drawn out like, oh, look at these millennials making me a mint and goat's milk.
Yeah, those kind of jokes.
And he's got a man bun,
Like
and look
my-
at this
Oh, yeah.
effeminate.
He has
piece
a
of shit.
22-year-old son in the movie that lives in his house that he's kind of indifferent towards.
I don't understand why he's in the movie.
Yeah,
That made no
was
sense.
was it his real son or was that just an actor? As well?
think-
Did anyone look that
He
up?
had, he had no real
Because
role.
if it was an actor, it's really like didn't need to be there at all.
There was,
Real
there was the
laid-back
beginnings of
guy.
there was the beginnings of like I regret not getting to know my son.
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Like,
That's what I
what
thought
you
it
own
was
a
going.
nightclub now? What you doing yoga?
Yeah,
What's going
yeah.
on with you, son? But they never had that conversation.
Yeah,
Where's the
and he
nightclub
clearly
in his
cared
bedroom?
about his granddaughter.
Yeah, yeah.
But his son was
Exactly.
kind of
It's
like,
really strange.
Oh,
it
you
was
seem to
like,
be doing
you know,
all
it
right.
skips a generation. Your love for your family. Wait, so who was his granddaughter's parents?
I don't know.
I'm guessing he has multiple children.
Yeah.
I guess
He
I
hates his
guess.
kids. He just hates
Yeah,
his
he
kids.
must have actual kids in there that are like in their 50s or 40s that
Yeah.
have,
But-
have the grand. but
Actually,
yeah.
imagine in the real world, if you're his kids and you see that movie, you're like, what the fuck, Dad?
You didn't ask us to be in it?
Yeah, what did you do to me? Why am I
Yeah.
owning a nightclub and like doing yoga? And you and my daughter have a really good relationship? Like, what's going on?
Well,
The other siblings aren't even in this thing. What is this?
Yeah, because I was thinking like, does he have a family in Australia, and maybe he's his American son, but he's Australian, so that doesn't fly. Anyway, doesn't make sense.
I'm
Doesn't
taking
make
you to
sense.
task, Paul Hogan.
what are some of
Get
the
a
other
better
things?
relationship.
He
What are
doesn't,
some of
he
the
doesn't
other
have any
things he
references
does?
to a wife either in this, does he? I mean, I think in real life he's divorced, but he doesn't say anything about his wife.
No.
He has a 22-year-old son and he's 80 years
Yeah,
old.
I know.
So he had that kid when he was
60.
Yeah, which is pretty hectic. But who's the mother of that child? I don't know.
We'll never know.
Yeah. Anyway, as we said, it's just him walking through a scene, doing something, putting his foot in his mouth.
Trouble
kind of.
finds him.
Yeah, trouble finds him. He's really, again, doesn't care about it too much, but it just keeps happening. It's just more like a minor irritant. It's like,
What?
oh, I'm on the news again for, oh, well, I'll just move on with my life and go hang out with one of my Hollywood friends for
What
lunch.
are some of the other reasons he gets in trouble from the media? So he goes and has a meal with Chevy Chase, and Chevy Chase leaves without paying the bill, and Paul Hogan assumes that he's already paid the bill, so Paul Hogan leaves and does
Is
the
tackled?
Yeah, he gets
And he's like
tackled.
80.
Tackled.
He gets tackled because he's trying to skip out on the bill, and maybe someone takes a photograph of that, and he ends up on ET
Yeah.
again. But what other events happen?
I think he gets in trouble fighting with somebody on Hollywood Boulevard. Who's
Well, he gets in
Oh,
trouble
he
for
strangles some
fighting
kids.
He
Evil
fights-
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, he
Shane
fights
Jacobson.
Shane Jacobson, who's dressed as a
That's the
Hollywood-
first one, I think.
Yeah, but then some kids there, and he he
Oh, they
looks
start
like
kicking
he's
him.
fighting a child for some reason.
Yeah.
Like he's
Well, Shane Jacobson sets his kids on
Yeah,
Paul
six-
Hogan to say, "Oh,
six
get rid of him. He's
Yeah.
trying to destroy my business." Shane
Yeah.
Jacobson's playing one of these guys who walks down Hollywood
Boulevard.
Boulevard, trying to like solicit photos and make money.
Dressed
by
as
doesn't
trying to-
Crocodile
recognize
Dundee.
that he's the real Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
He's like, get out of here. This is my territory.
yeah,
Get
and,
him,
and
kid.
he's saying the quotes wrong and things like
That's
that.
right. That was funny.
Yeah, Paul Hogan has to be like, "That's not what the line is," and Shane Jacobson's like, "I think I know the
'Cause he
line. I've
says-
seen this stupid movie before."
But he's got an American accent as well, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Because he's like, he's
He's
a
local.
dumb American
Yeah.
who doesn't know
He
his
says-
thing.
You call that a knife? My knife's bigger.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's
No,
such a
I-
Morgan or Hayden joke. You guys, I'm like, they'll
Just
love
like-
this that one line.
Miss doing the line.
Yeah, it definitely keeps escalating as well to the point where for some reason he's in a. All right, so John Cleese gets
Yes.
pulled over by the cops. This is like an hour or
Yeah, there's a bit of a chase scene with
And,
them.
the
and John
finale.
Cleese is like, wait till they get out of the car and the two cops are coming over and they're just going to get him for speeding or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think he says, like, I don't have a license, I can't drive. So he speeds across and it starts a whole chase and there's helicopters after them and it turns into a big thing, but it is like the 8th like faux pas that he's kind of accidentally
and again, I think it's funny that, like, you know, suddenly all these news networks are covering a dangerous chase through Hollywood, and one of the cameras is able to see through the passenger seat, and they say, well, we're not sure who's driving, but yes, it's Paul Hogan. And they're not surprised. Like, I find that funny.
Yeah. I think at that point in your career, if you had that many recent scandals where you're getting on the news like every day now, you probably could leverage that back into a movie, like be a Shia LaBeouf, like bad boy kind of, like, yeah, whatever.
Especially if you're an 80-year-old.
You could monetize it.
You could use the infamy to do
That's
something
what he's
cool.
done. He dodged his taxes for 20 years.
Do you think that's why he did this movie? Do you reckon there was like, it's a guaranteed $2 million for you?
Oh, yeah, I reckon it was a straight-up deal. We will clear your debt to the dollar if you make exactly the movie we make you make.
I feel like his debt to the tax office was like tens of millions.
That would suck so much.
You know, it is the top thing. It's the first thing you see when you open Amazon Prime now. Like, that's the
Paul
first
Hogan's
thing.
debt to the tax office. It's getting slowly
Just the
paid off.
number.
Every time you watch this
Just
movie, the
ticking
royalty
down.
It's
pays
like
out.
one of these.
He's got a good spot. He's got a good spot
documentaries
there.
about tax debt.
Yeah, right next to it is Wesley Snipes' taxes and
So, do you think this movie was intended for theatrical release?
I think it was.
No.
Yeah,
I
think when they made it, it definitely was,
You
and
think?
I think it would have played in Australian cinemas
maybe.
until COVID.
Nothing happens.
So there was
No one would see it.
No one would see
Who
it.
would
No, I
go
wouldn't see
to a
this.
cinema to see it?
My dad.
You think he would? You really think he would?
He wouldn't, but someone's dad would.
someone's
I don't
dad.
know if anyone...
Hey, I'm a dad. I'm someone's dad. Maybe that's why I liked it. You guys don't have kids.
Well, yeah, no,
I would
children
go.
is-
You reckon that's the
That's
difference?
all it
You're like,
is.
I can relate to that
For all I
6-year-old
know,
granddaughter.
none of you guys have had sex before.
Damn it! One day,
There was a
true
formula
men.
to this little tomato we watched where it was basically Hoax goes to meet a celebrity. Hoax puts his foot in his mouth and creates a scandal. Hoax drives back in a bad green screen. And then Hoax watches himself on
That's
TV.
right.
And
Yeah,
I'd say
that
that
was the
formula
movie.
happens like at least 3 times.
That's the entire
3 to 4
movie.
times.
You're
Yeah.
right.
I must have enjoyed it on some level to suggest that we make a podcast about it. Like, while I was watching it, I must have enjoyed it, but I'm seeing it all in my head as we're talking about it and just... Like,
See, I think the only thing I got out of it is I just thought, like, I was on board for the premise. I understood what the premise was, and that's all I needed. And then there were just jokes along the way that were executed well. I mean, things like he's hanging out with the guy who played the dad on Family Matters, right? And they're walking down the street and just sort of, you know, at exactly the right time, just the right volume, not over the top, someone yells out, "Where's Urkel?" to the father in Family Matters, and I just thought, you know, it wasn't overstated, it wasn't over the top. There's just little moments like this that I thought worked well.
I really like the Chevy
Hayden
Chase.
loves his reference humor.
Yeah, that's right. I really like Family Guy.
Yeah.
That Chevy Chase plate thing.
Yeah, it's a
I
great
love
gag.
background jokes and like audio gags, especially when they're
There were things
callback.
that worked,
That was a really good one.
The idea
Yeah.
that the Queen likes Crocodile Dundee
Dundee
3.
See, I'm not. This was not a good
Oh.
movie to me, but I enjoyed watching it, and especially compared to the other ones we've watched for this podcast. Spoilers
Yeah.
for my rating, but it's gonna rank quite high. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying it was a
Right.
terrible movie, but I'm saying compared to good comedy movies,
It's not great. I enjoyed this more than, I don't know, name a comedy movie that's well regarded from the last 10
Big Mama's House.
years. Well, sure.
the last 10 years. Come on, man.
It's funny when you were
Daddy
watching
Daycare with Eddie Murphy.
when you were watching Big Mama's House the other night. I was talking to a friend on like just messaging a friend, and Morgan brought to my attention that Paul Giamatti's in Big Mama's House. I had no idea. And then I was talking to a friend at the same time on like a messenger app, and he's like, just hanging out watching Paul Giamatti, and I'm like, are you watching Big Mama's House? He's like, no. I thought it might have been on TV or something. He was watching Sideways.
Oh man,
okay.
you got to watch Billions if you want Paul Giamatti at his fattest and his angriest.
I don't know. What about
Yeah,
Big
it's
Fat
crispy.
Liar?
Oh, I love Big Fat Liar.
Big
I've seen that as fattest.
I've seen
Frank
parts
Lewis.
of that.
Frankie
Yeah.
Muniz.
It's good.
Amanda
Paul
Bynes.
Giamatti ends up covered
Amanda
blue.
Bynes.
It's all set around
Urkel's in that
Hollywood.
movie.
isn't it?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I love that
There's a
movie.
whole
It's
thing.
like Urkel.
Where he's like, my name's Jaleel White. Anyway.
Written by Zach Stentz.
Have we named all the American celebrities in this movie? Because there's far more Australian
We
celebrities.
got Olivia Newton-John.
That's an
That's an
Australian.
Australian, but we touched on Heather from Sea Change as well.
Yeah.
She's also Australian.
There's a lot of Australians, but there is
Yeah.
one American that we have not spoken about, which is Wayne Knight. Newman.
Oh,
Right.
Who
Yeah.
plays
Yeah.
himself?
Playing himself.
Now, this
again,
is the thing,
yeah.
because he's got one big role that we all know about and that everyone knows about, and
Jurassic
nothing
Park.
else. That's Jurassic Park. And then he's got Newman. Okay,
Yes.
so he's got a couple roles, but that's what we know
Those are
him
the
as.
two
So
big ones.
you're spending the first 20 minutes waiting for his name to be said. Is he playing a
He was
character,
playing
or is he playing
Wayne Knight,
himself?
right?
Yeah, but that's why.
I think, and I haven't looked this up at all, but I'm assuming that in real life, Wayne Knight was like Paul Hogan's neighbor. I think that was a real relationship, and so when he was doing this movie, he's like, "We'll get Wayne in. We'd always talk over the fence. He'd come over. He'd have troubles with his wife. He'd come and sleep at my house."
Because there are a couple,
I would
like,
just say Wayne Knight was perfectly happy to get a job. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's probably all it
But
is.
Yeah,
why
he was
him?
looking good. I was happy. I was really happy to see him.
who else do you like?
He was funny in it as well. He has a certain energy.
Oh, so it's funny now, is it? You like it?
If one guy was a bit funny to me, but yeah. So Wayne Knight shows up and he's just like, "I have to hide up in your basement because I
Yeah, it
did
makes
cheat
sense.
on
You know
his
why?
wife
You
or
know
his
why?
wife."
I reckon
he
I
just
reckon
got
I know
shits
why.
with his wife or something.
I know why they picked him, because the character's name was Wayne Knight. And so then when they got Wayne Knight, they were like, this guy's perfect for the role.
Yeah.
No, they actually were trying to get Wayne Brady, but Wayne
They changed the
Knight
name
was
for him. They're
more
like,
available,
first
yeah.
name, that's close
He
enough.
kept singing songs.
Put the audition out.
Songs.
Okay, now.
Oh, wait a
Were
second,
there
wait a
any
second,
other
wait a second.
Americans?
He goes to prison at some point and has a dream where he
Yeah,
imagines...
Dundee musical.
He imagines
it goes
a
for
musical.
5 minutes and it's a full.
It's very long.
It's a full
This is what
dance
happens
sequence.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Because then at the end, he makes the musical.
Yeah, that gives him the idea.
For like no reason.
He's like, I am willing to sell out the integrity of the Crocodile Dundee franchise, which I've done in the movie you just watched,
Yeah.
and fictionally I've done as a musical. Yeah,
Within
that
the
was
movie.
weird.
For
So-
what purpose? If he doesn't want to have any part in the entertainment industry, is he making
Well, I
this musical?
think maybe it's the idea of like he finally restores his image because he spent the entire movie being
Yeah.
like trashed as a person, so he needs to set things straight.
So, do you reckon?
Because his legacy is important, I think,
Yeah.
as they state in the movie.
That's definitely for sure, and that's what he would be thinking about in real life. So when they go, hey, we're going to put you through some scandals, but it's going to be funny, do you reckon he was like, don't touch the tax thing? That's a real
Yeah.
scandal, and I really didn't enjoy that being in the news, but let's make some stuff up. And I'll do like five other scandals in the
I also
movie.
don't know that like a tax scandal would have been all that comedically funny,
Yeah.
right? Like how do
His
you turn
agents
that
are sort of like, well, do you owe the government money? Should you just pay them back? And he's like, I'm not going to, so...
Yeah, it's not
That would have been
funny.
so funny, just him opening up the letters and going, oh,
No, he opens it up. It says ATO. He looks at his manager and just goes, "They found me."
No,
puts
he,
on a jetpack.
no, he
He's
looks,
the last scene.
I'm
he
moving
looks
again.
directly in the camera and goes, I've been a bad little boy.
You think that's a tax debt? This is a tax debt. $10 million or whatever.
So, two questions. Why does he get thrown in prison to begin with? And also,
It's after the chase. It's after,
'cause
the,
it was
after
the
the
John
chase.
Cleese.
And he was... Well, no, because they found him in his
Yeah,
backyard.
he runs back
helicopters,
to his own house,
yeah.
and the
And he
helicopters.
was just like holding an inflatable
toy
crocodile.
Oh, the crocodile
And
from
everyone
the
was like,
beginning.
"Oh, he's trying to relive his glory days. How sad! It's the saddest thing
That's
I've ever
that's
seen."
how you relive your glory days.
That was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, 'cause he's wrestling with a
For
crocodile.
some reason, he
That's
comes
pretty good.
home after being in like a long, what do you call
But
it?
wait, that's the
high-speed
thing with
chase.
that inflatable crocodile that came up in like the first or second scene in the movie, and
did
like
it?
yeah, like really unnaturally, and I clocked it. I'm like, there's something's gonna happen with that fucking thing. Like there's a
coming
reason
back.
they're putting
That's
that
a
in there.
Chekhov's gun that they'll be
Yeah,
firing
that's
in
a
the third
Chekhov's
act
gun.
of this thing.
It's a jack-off gun.
It's a jack-off
That's a
gun. if
jack-off
ever I've
gun.
seen one.
Another
That's
jack-off's gun is like earlier
that-
in the movie when I like that where his agent like says, "Oh, come on, just I've set up a meeting for you to do this, that, or the other. We just want to get you one role." And he's like, "Fine." He's begrudgingly accepting meetings and stuff, but he says to his manager like, "Oh, I just want to stay home and watch Ellen. I
Yes.
like Ellen."
Yeah,
And
that
then
becomes
like
a running joke.
15 minutes later, he's like, "Have you thought about getting me on a late night show like Ellen?"
The other,
It's obsessed.
funny.
the one running
He's
joke
obsessed
that I
with
really appreciated was just him wanting to sleep. And there's scenes
Oh, yeah.
where he's, I think
Just
before
attempting
Wayne
to
Knight
sleep.
shows up, it's midday and it's just an old man having a nap. And as I said before, this is based on his life. All in real life he wants is to just nap on the couch.
80-year-olds want to go to sleep.
And people keep going, do you want to be in another movie? Should we do another Crocodile Dundee? Do you want to come in this ad? And you're like, can I please just have a nap? Like, that's all I need.
But it's not true, because he's also doing things like going out to dinners and like he's doing all sorts of stuff that he could be napping during. But he's
yeah.
like that's what I can't. I agree. There is this running thing of him pretending he wants to go to sleep, but it's all an act. He's got all these other plans.
So do you reckon...
That's how he reels in all these opportunities and how he gets people filming him doing embarrassing things.
That's
Speaking
the
of which,
secret.
doesn't he redeem himself at the end and somebody films him like recreating a Crocodile Dundee moment by throwing a paint can or
Yeah,
something? and hitting
Is that
someone
a
in the
Crocodile
head?
Dundee? Moment?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
It's
Okay,
from-
because
It's from the New York one, I think.
Yeah. So earlier in the movie, when he's going to meet Olivia Newton-John for the first time in the movie, him and Reggie are going to meet her. He comes back to the valet, but it was not a real valet.
Ah, the valet.
And so later in the movie, when he's on the date with from Sea Change Lady,
Heather.
Carrie, Heather,
Carrie.
Carrie Armstrong.
Carrie Armstrong.
Carrie Armstrong, Carrie. You've been hit back. You've been struck by Carrie Armstrong.
Okay, so they're
remember that
calling
part.
they'll
Sorry,
say,
excuse me, I have a
it's
cold."
the Phantom Valet, and he's running away, and the whole crowd is just looking around to him, and then a man in a white flat cap walks up with a big bag of groceries, and then just like nods at a can at the top, and Hoax just grabs it and throws it, which goes straight into the Phantom Valet's head, and everyone's clapping, and then E.T. was like, beloved Paul Hogan has stopped the Phantom Valet. And I was like, his redemption is throwing a can at a man's head.
Yeah, it's not much.
He has to hurt somebody.
It's
to
fickle
make
old
up for it.
Hollywood. But
Yeah.
what was maybe not signaled strongly enough in that scene is there's also like it's cutting between. So he throws the can after the Phantom Valet, who's sprinting away, and it's slow-mo, and you're cutting to like the can flying through the air, you're cutting to the valet running away in slow motion, but you're also cutting to like this elderly man in like a mobility scooter who's like looking really unwell, and it's meant to paint the idea that is the fucking can going to hit this poor disabled old man, or is it going to hit the guy? And sort of, I think that was, they tried to make that be the joke, and then eventually it doesn't actually hit. But because it wasn't signaled properly, it just kind of came across as like, why do they keep cutting to that dude in the mobility
Yeah.
scooter?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
The pacing of this movie was really
Good.
terrible.
It was edited
sorry, it was just-
very
It didn't-
badly.
yeah, that...
Well, I
Yeah,
think
it was all-
the
it
reason
was
is
very
it was just
sloppily made.
sketchy.
originally it was
Just-
going to be made like a Bandersnatch type thing. It was going to be a Black Mirror.
Revenge.
And so at that point, it was going to be, who do you want the can to hit? Do you want it to hit the old man, or do you want to... And there are various points in the
Yeah.
movie where that happens, and
That's
that's
right.
why it has such a weird flow.
There's something nice about the idea of old, famous, kind of comedic characters in Hollywood that are well past their prime and don't really work, and I'm talking in their 70s and 80s, just hanging out and catching up and being friends. Like, I like to think that Paul Hogan, Chevy Chase, John Cleese, like, meet up and hang out in LA and talk about the glory days.
I watch all those movies. There's one with Richard Dreyfuss and Chevy Chase where they're just old guys trying to have a comeback. They're like in their 70s or 80s. There's that other one with, I think, Michael Douglas and somebody else. They have a sitcom
Zach
on
Braff
Netflix.
made one with Morgan Freeman and Alan Arkin called Going in Style. It's just three old guys. Maybe they decide to rob a bank or something. You know those ones? It's like, oh, we've
Yeah.
got to pay for our retirement home. Let's just rob a bank.
They'll never suspect us. We're
Yeah.
old. We'll just
Yeah.
say, excuse me, can you help me with the money?
There's another thread in this movie that, again, like it's just more filler. But there's a paparazzo outside of Paul Hogan's house.
Yeah.
Ah.
This guy looked exactly like Nick Swardson.
I thought so.
But it wasn't Nick
Who's that?
Swardson.
He's like an Adam Sandler
Yeah,
dude.
he's in
Yeah,
Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, he was in Bucky Larson,
Benchwarmers.
which is
he is Bucky
fairly...
Larson, which is coming up on on this list.
that's
I
we have
don't,
to
know,
watch
I
that.
don't know what any of these things are, but he looked really familiar.
Yeah, but it's not the guy you're thinking
okay,
of then.
right, yeah,
And I
that's what I
looked it
thought.
up, and obviously everyone is like, no, they look the same and they sound similar, but Schwarzen's like a little worse for wear. In fact, Schwarzen got really sick like last year and was in hospital and nearly died, and was like hospitalized for like a month straight and was really sick, like nearly died. Yeah. But I've been watching a few Nick Schwarzen like podcast appearances recently, so he was on my mind, and this guy shows up, and I'm like, is it him? But it wasn't.
He's like a happier Nick Schwarzen.
Yeah.
Nick Schwarzen's got a very sour.
And I'm
thing
kind of
about
like,
him.
if you're in Hollywood and you're trying to get, big budget movies, Schwarzen will be in all these Adam Sandler comedies because they're in the same crew. But the ones that Schwarzen passes on, like the next level down, this guy, I think his name is Nate something, can just jump in and be like, you need a Schwarzen type? Here I am. I look and sound like him, and
Just
people
like
think I am him.
But fatter.
Yeah.
You know what? I reckon I know the guy who's in the movie, and Nick Swardson looks like him. That's really weird.
You know the budget version.
Yeah, I don't know.
Budget.
I must
Schwarzen.
know him from something. Anyway, so the
Paparazzi
he's a really bad paparazzi guy. He can't seem to get any good photos, and he for some reason takes a liking to Paul Hogan and tries to like hang out with him and get in his house. Long story short, he ends up in this car chase with who is it? John Cleese and himself. And he's got, I think the idea is John Cleese is like, I'll take you guys down to like Hollywood Boulevard, and that way you'll be able to get some photos of some famous people, and then you'll be a good paparazzi man. And so they do that, but it turns into a high-speed chase. And so this paparazzo is in the backseat trying to take photos of all these famous people, but of course they're really blurry photos.
Because they're driving
And the
fast.
end of that thread is eventually, when they tie the whole movie together at the end, several things happen, all right? So one is Paul Hogan is about to be knighted. His musical is debuting on like Broadway or something, and to a awesome response and like rave reviews.
Which is titled
son,
The Excellent Mr.
Yes,
Dundee or whatever
that's
the
right.
fucking film is called. The Tomato is called.
His son, who again we don't give a shit about his son, but his son is
He seems
opening,
perfectly happy. He has no conflict in his
No.
life.
He lives
just
in a
floats
giant
along.
mansion. He teaches yoga. He makes rave music. Like, he's just living the Hollywood life.
and he's opening his nightclub or something. So that's a
But is
monument.
it at his home?
Yeah, it looks like he's converted
Yeah,
his
he's
house
just
into a
been
nightclub.
he's just
or
been
something.
testing it out in his attic, but now he's going to properly open it.
So
or
all
something.
these things are happening at the same time.
Everyone's getting
Uplifting
their
music is
happy
playing.
ending.
Yeah, everyone's getting their happy ending. And meanwhile, this guy who is a bad paparazzo is opening his artwork exhibition, and
His original
people are paying
photographs.
thousands of dollars for these blurry photos
celebrity
taken from the back.
photos
I thought
taken.
that was funny.
It's pretty funny, but did he do it intentionally? Or?
No, he just was
It just
taking
happened
photos
to-
going too fast,
Yeah.
had the wrong shutter, they're all blurry, and then people are putting those little red stickers on them at the exhibition to buy them for like $10,000.
Yep.
So with all that, with like John Cleese in the mix and that guy's storyline and all, I think that's why it was fun to watch, because those things make up for just the, I don't know, just Paul Hogan's main storyline, I guess.
On that Nick Swardson paparazzi guy, I think that's the best exemplification of the fact that Hogs doesn't care about anything, because this guy's kind of a dickhead, and he's like a college fratty, like, oh my god, it's Crocodile Dundee, or like, he doesn't know his name, he hasn't even seen the movies he's in, he's just like, I'm trying to get photos of famous people, and he like climbs over Hogan's fence and all this stuff. He's like basically stalking him, and Hogan's like, oh yeah, okay mate, you can come in, we can hang out, like we can be friends, and I'll support you from now on, instead of being like, there's a crazy guy trying to break into my house.
Yeah. But there is a little bit of that, doesn't he? He doesn't.
He definitely says
threaten
no a
to-
couple of times, but he doesn't put up a lot of resistance.
Yeah.
Like the guy's like, hey, it's me again. I jumped over your fence, and he's like, yeah, come in.
It all these little things reek of like incidents that happened in his life that he's made way more innocent.
Yeah.
Like that's happened, and he beat the shit out of that guy
He
with a
shot the
rake.
dude or
He
whatever.
killed him, murdered him. Twice over. Like he's just reframing everything in like
Yeah.
this is who I actually am. Oh, I like the bloke. I went to his art show opening. Yeah, I didn't murder him.
Now, there's an Australian female woman TV personality. I don't know her name. She
yeah, I
has
don't know who
red
that was
hair. I saw her on television ads for "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here." I think she was the host of it or something. Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, and she's Wayne Knight's husband.
Yeah.
Oh, Wayne Knight's wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote down. Oh,
She's-
she's
I
Australian
want to
actress.
say
She's
Julia
an old,
something.
she's an old like
Yeah, I was about to say
sketch
Julia
comedy
Zamiro, but
Yeah.
that's
person
Rock Wiz.
from like Fast Forward and
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
what I
that.
thought. Like one of those personalities that's been around for ages. But yeah, she just shows up in this movie. Is she a friend of Hoag's? I assume everyone in this movie. Like it makes no sense to me if Paul Hogan is not friends with Reginald VelJohnson because
Who is he? What is he? Who
he's
is
a cop in Die Hard. He's
No, but what is he in
He's
this
like an
movie?
older black guy. They just meet up for one scene. They
Oh,
walk
so
down the
that's
street.
who that
yeah,
is.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yep.
And I'm like that role has to be someone he's friends with,
100%.
right? And Wayne Knight as well. It makes no
The
sense.
people are
that it's
too
like,
random
Yeah.
for not to just be like, hey,
Friends
do you want
of
to be
his.
in my movie?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense otherwise. I just will say, I do know that guy. He was in, so Nate, someone is his name.
Yeah.
He was in Hello Ladies, which is,
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, that's why I know him. And he played essentially the same character.
I feel like Paul Hogan is trying to also say that Chevy Chase is like the American
Version
Paul
of him.
Hogan, and
Yeah.
John Cleese is the
Yes,
British.
That's
but I like that as well. It's like, I'm the biggest Australian, you're the
Yeah.
biggest.
Yeah.
We're all
We're the
here in
best.
LA.
We're the best.
None of us are really doing anything anymore, but
I'm just like you guys.
All right. Speed round. Australian actors who were in this movie. Okay.
right.
So Luke Hemsworth.
yeah.
And his whole bit about distancing
Is
himself from
he in
Australia.
anything
yeah.
else though?
He's in Westworld.
He's in
HBO
Westworld.
series.
That's good.
And he's in the current.
He's the
Australian
lesser
tourism
famous
ad.
Hemsworth,
Yeah,
right?
there's three.
Three.
There's Chris. There's Liam, who was married to Miley Cyrus and was in the Hunger Games movies, and then there's this guy. I think there might even be actually, maybe I just saw a show where they joked that there was a fourth Hemsworth called Pete, and he was just like
that
what
was
that?
in
Yeah.
like Kimmy Schmidt. No,
The Good Place?
It might,
Good-
yeah,
yeah,
it was
The
the
Good
Good
Place.
Place. It was
Yeah,
the Good
yeah,
Place,
yeah.
yeah. So what's the one that's not Luke or Chris? The one we're talking about?
Severus.
Liam? No, we're talking about Luke.
Oh,
You're-
we are talking about Luke. Okay,
Not Liam.
so Luke is in the current Australian tourism ads as well.
Okay.
That aren't like where the bloody hell are you, or throw a shrimp on the barbie. They're just like, come and visit, and I'm like a bit of a country guy. I'm the Hemsworth they could afford for this ad. Yeah, but
Money well spent.
he shows up quickly.
Throw a shoe on the bubby.
So who else have we got in this?
We've
We got
got
Jim Jefferies.
We do have Jim Jefferies.
Oh,
friend
so
of the show.
Jim Jefferies
Jim
once
Jefferies.
told me a story. He had a show. I'm dropping names like crazy. This
Yeah, you
episode.
are.
So-
This
Right,
is
you had to
Yeah.
pick a guy up from the airport once, and you
Hollywood
know
Day.
Jim
Yeah.
Jeffries.
You know Schindler?
I know Schindler. Jim Jefferies had a show called Legit on FX in America. It went for 2 seasons. He wanted to have someone play his dad in an episode, and he wanted it to be Paul Hogan. And so he was really trying to get Paul Hogan, and he was talking to the agents and stuff. And the agent was really like, he's not really acting right now. He's not doing that well. He might be interested. I'll try and do it, but it was kind of stalling. And so he eventually just said, can I have his address? And I'll go to his house. I'll knock on his door, and I'll just ask him if he wants to play my dad in this show. So the guy's like, okay, but you need to know he's fallen off the wagon. This is recently. This is like 5 years ago or something, right? And so he's like 75, but he'd been an alcoholic when he was younger, and I think he'd been clean maybe for like 30 years, but because he got divorced, he was drinking again.
Okay.
And so Jim Jefferies knocks on his door, and maybe he like comes to the peephole or whatever, and he's like, hi, Mr. Hogan, I'm a huge fan, I'm an Australian comedian, I've got a TV show, I just wanted to come here and ask if you'll be my dad in this show. And then he just hear the door doesn't even open, he just hears, fuck off.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
so
the real Paul Hogan.
He didn't get him to play his dad. He ended up getting George Lazenby, who played James Bond in one Bond movie, who was an Australian like model guy from in the 70s.
What a steal.
But somehow this came around where I'm guessing Paul Hogan returned the favour and was like, Jim Jefferies, come be in this film.
Returned what favour?
Do you know how I told you to fuck off that time? I'm now getting you to do like 3 lines.
I feel bad about it. Do you want to be in a movie?
Yeah.
I gotta
also-
say, Jim Jeffries' bits were some of the funniest
They were good.
lines,
Yeah.
making fun of
And he
him.
strikes me as the kind of guy who would only respect another person if they told him to fuck off.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
way. Oh,
Yeah.
fine, I'll be on your movie. You told me to
Yeah.
fuck off. Yeah, all right.
I can't think of who else was. In
Well,
this
you
Well,
movie.
they had Costas Mandylor,
No,
who has a
yes.
great name.
From the Saw movies, the later Saw movies.
And I found out he was Australian, and he said, and I quote, he was hanging out with Mike Tyson, Mickey Rourke, and Charlie Sheen, and they said they agreed that no one had fell harder from grace than Paul Hogan. And then the reporter said, "Is it the drugs?"
Can I say my favourite small appearance from an Australian comedian that really shocked me because I was looking at it and he was playing almost like a Mexican or Latina, Latin character, not Latino, was Paul Fenech.
Paulie from
Fat
Pizza.
Pizza.
Was
Yeah.
in this
really?
movie.
Yeah.
That was
That's
a real
awesome.
Adam Sandler type. Rob
Rob
Schneider. That was a real
Schneider.
Rob
Yeah.
Schneider.
Yeah. I was, because at first I'm looking at him and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I called it really quickly where I was like, is that Paul Fenech? And I was watching it with some friends and we were like, why would he be
Yeah.
Paul Hogan's? And he wasn't his housekeeper, was he? He was
No.
just, he was
Just
just
a
a friend.
Just
For
a
a couple of
friend.
scenes. And he
Friends
had
with
a
Wasn't he
wig and everything.
friend of? Was he not a friend of?
the
son?
son.
The agent? Oh, the son. Well, he
maybe.
just brought an energy. He never
Yeah.
actually did or said anything. No, he was just like, he was there and
he
we
came
knew.
out
We
swinging,
knew.
and
Yeah.
you're just like, wow. I've seen Paul Fenech on and off TV in Fat Pizza and Housos and these shows. I've never really watched them, but I know he's just kind of a part of that like Australian Lebanese humor. I've never seen him just rock up in a movie. Is he friends with Paul Hogan somehow?
I
Was
can
Hogan's
imagine.
like, love Fat Pizza?
Yeah.
mate."
Oh, subwoofer, all that.
I don't think Paul Hogan
Sick, mate,
has
sick.
friends. I think Paul Hogan has enemies, and he, just,
Do you reckon
and he
it's
makes
the other way
deals.
around?
I think
Do
he
you
makes
reckon-
deals.
Do you reckon they just went like, all right, it's Hogs, get a list of Australians. He doesn't have to know them, but they'll say yes to the
Yeah.
movie because it's
Who
like,
is-
this is an
it's
ode to
Hogan.
his life.
It's
You know,
Paul
you like
Hogan,
Hogs.
you know.
Well, yeah, I think that's the only Australian celebrities, other than like clips of like Hugh Jackman and
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn, which
Yes.
were nice clips.
Because
They were really
Hugh Jackman just said, like, I got one word. It was at, the Oscars or something.
Yeah.
And he's just like, Hogs.
yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
cheering. You're like, wow.
Yeah, real. Oh wait, no, and
That's
and,
all it
and
takes to
also
get-
Rachel Carpani from McLeod's Daughters is in this movie, and
Also,
Would you like to tell us something about her? Or?
I can't. I'm not legally allowed to say.
Let me tell you some stuff that I heard on the
Jeez.
tracks.
Rachel, I will not be coming near your property any longer. I just want to put that out there.
We once wrote a character called Hugh Jackman, but then we took out the Jack because it was Hugh Man.
Yeah.
Because he was an
he was
alien.
an alien. His
Trying to
fake name
pretend
was
to be a
Hugh
human.
Man.
I like
Hugh
it.
Jackman, but hold the Jack.
Holds the Jack.
Hold the
Man.
jack, man.
Yeah, that was sick.
Cool.
All right, what do we have anything else to say?
I think we covered every
Oh yeah,
single...
so it ends, right? So I was saying all those things are happening at the same time.
Throw
It's
the
like,
paint can.
well, is he gonna go to his son's fucking
Yeah.
discotheque opening, or is he gonna go to the
Nightclub.
opening of his movie? Is he gonna get knighted? Is he going to go to the gallery opening?
But it's and
He
so it
doesn't
keeps cutting
turn-
between them
That's
all, and they're
right.
like, he should be coming here. The Queen's coming soon to knight him or whatever. But you know exactly where he's going to be.
He
because
turns
it's-
up at all of them, and there's been 7 Hogans all along, and that's why he's so confused and so angry.
He's hired 7 Shane Jacobsons to pretend to be Crocodile Dundee. No, he's gone to see his granddaughter's recital.
No,
Yeah,
she's like
musical.
performing
Yeah, she's
in like a play or something
Wizard of
back
Oz,
in.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And also, he's been
I can
across
see
the
that.
film. He's been eyeing off some property in Byron Bay. And,
Yeah.
That's right.
And
That
it
was weird as
finishes
well.
his.
Well, I think he's got, like...
That's where the Hemsworth
some...
live, or at least Chris Hemsworth has a place.
in old Byron, eh?
I think he and the
The
guy
most
that
easterly
made...
part of Australia.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what my friend Sam Bartlett tells me almost every day.
Why? In what context?
I think he just heard it in a trivia thing, and so he keeps repeating it, and then I keep spreading it. It just becomes like whenever it gets brought up, you just go, that's the most easterly part of
Easterly,
Australia,
and
mainland
there's a
Australia.
lot of Eastern influence in that area. Is that what he means?
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
think so.
A few too
There are a lot of
many.
anti-vax-
too many meditation huts there, if you know what I
Yeah, or
mean.
maybe some of the property's been snatched up by some of the overseas. No,
Paul Hogan, American citizen people.
that's not what I mean by easterly.
He's talking about Paul Hogan. Paul Hogan apparently started the whole Byron Bay being a tourist hotspot thing. Like
Did he?
invested a lot of money and bought a lot of property there, and so I think that's why they included that at the end. Like, I'm still looking at property here
Oh, yeah.
because I fucking own this joint.
Yeah, jeez.
Was he just trying to show the world that like Byron's a great place? To
Yeah,
visit
yeah.
and stay
Probably
and
just
buy?
be like, this is
Yeah,
the place
maybe.
specifically. Come to Byron Bay. Yes, yes.
Use my restaurants. Wow. Okay, so we did it. Is that the end of the movie?
That's
Are
it.
we done?
Is that how it
That's
ends?
every single beat.
It does end like that. It
ends
ends
with him on the
montage
beach,
of
and
him
he-
not attending events.
Oh
and
no!
then
The
him
very
buying a
last
house.
thing is him
Yeah.
lying on the beach about to fall
That's
asleep,
right.
and then Wayne Knight's like, "Hey Jerry!"
No, but it's not even him.
No, it's
not.
He's not even there.
It's
He's hiding behind a newspaper, and his
Yeah,
voice
yeah.
is there, but they weren't going to film
That's
him
right.
in Byron
On
Bay.
the front page news, it says
Wayne Knight buys place in
No,
Byron Bay or
Wayne
something.
Knight brings like
Oh, of the Broadway show.
Broadway to
Yes.
Australia
to
or
Byron.
something.
Yeah.
Broadway to Byron. Why is that the front page?
And then they just use the same clip of him going, "Hello, my baby. Hello,
Yeah.
my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal."
Is that really like a Broadway show? People are doing that?
Yeah, people love that frog cartoon with the top hat and the cane. They just love Wayne Knight plays frog from
Plays
cartoon.
frog. That's the whole.
Okay,
Wrap it up.
wrap it up.
Wrap it up, Mitch. What do you
I'm
say?
gonna come in hot with a spicy sauce of a rating. Yeah, that's right. 3.1. I thought it was a shoddy movie. You know what? 4.1 because Australian accents make me really happy when I hear them in movies for some reason. When I hear like a normal Australian person, and I did notice that all the Australians came off really cool and normal, and all the Americans came off fucking annoying
Yeah.
and sucked. And I was like,
That's what I like to
a movie
see.
made for Paul Hogan by Paul Hogan.
About Paul Hogan.
Yeah, so 4.4. No, let's go in the middle on a 3.7, and that is my final answer. 3.7. 3.6. 3.5.
I need to actually know because I write these down.
The last one that I said, 3.5.
5.
I'm going to say 3.4.
Wait, 3.5 tarot cash.
3.
The code is 3.5 tarot cash.
Repeating tarot cash.
All right, I'll go next, guys, because it's my turn to talk. I've had enough of your tarot cash stuff. I actually
Wait,
enjoyed watching this.
we didn't spin the wheel every time one of us talks to figure
Oh,
out
look,
which
it
one of us is
landed on
going
me
to talk.
yet again. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, you were
But
lucky this time. You predicted where the wheel would land.
What happens if the wheel lands on Declan again after this?
I
Well,
gotta change my score
that's the
up
problem.
and go
Every
again.
square says Declan except for this tiny little sliver which says everyone else.
I'm giving this movie a 5.5.
Okay.
I enjoyed watching it. I liked the color. I liked the brightness.
It was very bright.
I found Paul Hogan kind of irresistible. Like something about that lackadaisical,
It should
just
have been
like
called
walk
the
through
irresistible
life.
Mr. Dundee.
Yeah. And he was still handsome and he had these like beautiful fake veneer teeth. And you're like, just an 80-year-old man, you know, movies take a long time to shoot. You're out in the Hollywood sun. You're traveling to Byron Bay to do a couple of shots. There are a lot of... The celebrity cameos keep you interested because you're like, who's next? What
Yeah.
is going to happen next? The plot was dumb. The green screening of all the car scenes was really bad. Every time they went to another time of him watching a news report, I was like, is this like the only kind of plot vehicle they have to keep this movie going? But I still enjoyed it enough for what it was. But I was still a little... It was bittersweet for me because I thought this is kind of his swan song. This is like his last... Probably the last time he ever stars in a movie. It's very specifically about his life. This is the legacy piece that he's going to leave on. Didn't even get a cinema release. I would say partially because of the quality, partially because every cinema around the world is closed right now. But yeah, it was weird to see like that much Australiana and kind of comedic history all laid out on this plate. And you're like, it wasn't good, but I still enjoyed eating it. Yeah, so I'm going to go 5.5.
Yeah, I thought that the movie itself was kept me entertained practically through the whole thing. I mean, it wasn't a fantastic movie. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought Paul Hogan's performance was really fun because of the same reason I really loved Bo Derek in what's that movie?
Bolero.
He just was so unaffected by anything around him. I thought that was so. It was funny. He just didn't give a shit.
Because at that age, what do you
Exactly,
care
he
about?
doesn't
It's like,
care.
I want to talk to my granddaughter and have a nap.
Yeah. I for some reason it reminded me so much of I don't know, like the shittier Gervais and Merchant shows, like what's that one with Warwick, the little person?
Warwick
it's called
Little
Little.
Man.
Life's too short.
Life's
Life-
too short.
Life's too
I think
short.
that's putting Life's Too Short on a unfair. Like if you're comparing those two,
Yeah.
like, there's no way.
Which is
Yeah,
worse.
it's definitely a better
It's better than
program
that.
than
Right.
than
Or like, what was the other bad one? It was just like an excuse to bring in a different celebrity and make fun of them.
Extras.
Or like-
Yeah.
Being an
Extras is very, very good though,
Yeah.
but like it did remind me of Extras a little bit.
because it's celebrities skewering themselves.
Yeah, and then again, I think just by sort of like, then you follow that thread into Hello Ladies, which is Merchant again
On his own.
in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Pathetic, and it also had the guy that was in this movie in that TV show, so it all kind of like lines in together. And I think that like when I watch comedy movies, I don't like there to be like I find that 3-act flow of a movie applied to comedy really draining, and it takes away from the ability for there to be gags and jokes. Because this movie didn't adhere to that, and it was just bit after bit after bit, like I found it more enjoyable. That's the way I like my comedy movies. I can just wait for the next joke and not give a shit about the storyline. So I found it more entertaining than probably most comedy movies that that follow the correct formula. I'm going to give it a 6.4, and that's 0.1 below Staying Alive. And anything else that's currently on 6.4, I'd like you to slide that down the scale to 6.3. And in doing that, I think what'll happen is you'll slide one down to 6.4, then you'll have two at 6.4. I'll get you to take one of them. I don't care which one, and move that down to 6.3
You're going to have
for
to
me.
write this algorithm out for me.
You guys with your dynamic point
Yeah.
system, like
Every week it's changing everything. But it makes sense because you're seeing a new tomato in a
That's
new
right.
context, and
That's
it
true.
means you have to reevaluate.
well, that's the thing with
But it's
all
very
this.
annoying to follow.
Sorry, mate.
That's why I wanted to record this episode so quickly. I think it's now been
Well, I've
maybe
been talking
8.
very slowly. I'm sorry.
No, I mean like since we watched the movie, but
Oh, I
it was
see.
like 8 or 9 days ago that I watched the movie, and I must be very fickle with these things because I loved it when I watched it, and now I seem to hate Paul Hogan. Like I'm just thinking about all the things I've said about Paul Hogan during this episode, and I don't think for some reason the impression I've gotten from this movie in a delayed 8 or 9 day period is not. It'll sour for you guys too, I'm sure. Over 3 or 4 days, you'll come to see what I see, which is that Paul Hogan is a mischievous old man. He's not making jokes; he's reframing his history, and he's doing so in a most tacit and undesirable way. And it's
It was nice
malicious.
to see Chevy Chase and John Cleese just being silly, though, wasn't it?
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
No,
John Cleese was the reason that the
was
movie
comforting.
worked.
But John Cleese's scenes weren't funny. I didn't think.
No, he had
No,
like
that
two,
was funny.
he had
It was
two,
amazing.
two little moments. John Cleese hasn't been funny in like 40
I
years.
know.
Like, what's he done? Seriously.
A Fish Called Wanda. That was pretty good. Though.
Was that when was that? The 90s? The
That was
80s?
a long
I'm
time
going
ago.
to say 90s.
I think it's lauded or it's lauded, but I don't know if I agree with it. I don't know. I didn't get it. Maybe I need to watch it again.
I mean,
I didn't get I didn't get Blackadder either though.
What? I love Blackadder.
Blackadder
You're
just bounces
sick,
right
man.
off me. So in light of that, I give this movie a 5.4.
Ooh.
Okay.
In
Nice.
light of Blackadder,
Can't believe
Compared
I
to
gave this
Blackadder,
the
which I never
lowest.
quite got.
I give it a 5.4.
Do you want to take us out with your best Jim Jefferies story?
Yeah, so one time me and Jim were getting Macca's, and he said, "Can I have a hash brown?" And I said, "Jim, I don't think they do that after 10." He said, "No, they changed the menu." And sure as hell, he was right. And he's always ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I've always said
He
that
knows the
about
McDonald's
him.
menu
Yeah.
like the back of his hand.
So good.
And it's just like,
His
you know,
hand.
me and him just do that sort of stuff together is the real point of the story. Me and Jim.
How
do
did
Dude, you are
Jim
such a
Jefferies
star
become,
fucker, man.
How
Like,
did Jim
oh.
Jefferies become like successful over in the States? What happened there? Is he just good at comedy?
Because
Yeah,
I found
he-
out about him from your excellent movie. That's the first introduction that I knew
The
about him.
excellent
The
Mr.
very excellent Me and
Yeah.
My Mates.
He was
versus
doing.
Zombie Apocalypse.
Well, we don't talk about that on this podcast. He was doing stand up in Australia, then he moved to England and he lived there for like 8 years, and that's where he kind of got going, and then he did a couple of like DVD specials in England, and then he went to America. I guess he got scouted or whatever, and he did an HBO special there, and he actually had to buy himself out of one of his he signed a contract to do like 4 specials for like a UK distributor or something, and he had to buy himself out of it to try and go to America to do this special, and so he had to spend all his money paying this contract back to hope, and then he went to America and the special did good, and now he's
it was all just the back of his comedy, of his stand-up.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy's stand-up's always been really sort of upfront and in your face. I remember once James and I were going through the Hungry Jack's drive-thru, and he said to me, "Order me a hash brown." And I said, "I don't think they do that after 10 o'clock." And sure as hell, he was right. He's always ahead of the curve, that guy.
And he's got that bit as well on his latest special about the hash browns. And
Yeah. Where he just goes through the menus of takeaway places
and
whether they serve all day breakfast.
As well. Like, as someone who's had a bit of success, yes, that's fair. But he's still up there doing good comedy about hash browns and fast food menus.
Yeah. As someone who's had a McDonald's breakfast, he is right.
Jimmy's an innovator.
Yeah.
He's in an elevator, a Schindler's lift.
And with that, thank you for listening.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7, 8. I never knew that a podcast could be like this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Day 16.
I got a little baby in town.
That's the age you die.
Cool. All right. But in all seriousness, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, did you guys want to rate the movie again?
Let's go around the horn
I'm gonna
one
give
more
it
time.
1, 2.
Oh, we forgot to thank Anthony LaPaglia for his surprise appearance.
Oh, he's back on the phone.
Is he? Anthony.
Hi, boys.
What did
Me, Lapalo.
We never got your opinion on the movie. What did you think?
I thought that my old mate Hogan French is one of my favorite Hogan French. And I see him on the street.
We'll just fade out on this.
I see him
we'll just fade this
in
out.
California
Thank you.
and Crocodile Dundee.
Okay.
I always say, why don't they call it cocking?
Let's take it down.
Cocking dial.
We'll fade him up. Fade LaPaglia down. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I think he's running out of steam.
1, 2, 3.